there are so many different ways to influence the creativity, the design of a building or a structure or a house or a bridge or even a natural landscape. Landscape architecture is just as creative as building forms. And there's so many different ways to do it, and there's been so many different histories of design theory and design design ideas, all the way back to the early orders of architecture. It's gone from very structured and very ordered geometries, which, as we were talking about, there were a lot of rules that were identified in architecture and geometry that were based on natural proportions. And the one example that I have here is the Fibonacci series. This golden spiral is an organizational diagram, a mathematical diagram that is all about proportion and relationships. And within that diagram, you can see these same relationships in a lot of natural forms. And one of the examples that I have here is this nautilus shell. And a nautilus shell is almost a direct diagram, a direct image of the Fibonacci golden spiral. And for this object to be created in nature by a natural process, just by cellular development, following these same rules that are used in a lot of historic architectural geometry, is pretty incredible. That we've been able to create buildings and set a lot of our earlier structures using these proportions in the same way that nature has used the proportions to create this object. And I think the architectural design process is about finding relationships in some sort of organized order or fashion, or finding relationships in some unorganized or disorganized order or fashion. The way that a tree grows, or that grasses grow, or that ice particles are formed. You think about a snowflake, you see the results of crystallization, which follows the same process over and over again, but it creates an endless number of unique designs.